and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for a full Barça news roundup, as we now are only days away from our club finally returning to action. But today, we're going to be talking about Lamine Yamal. That is going to be an absolute joy. We're also going to be talking about Nico Williams of Athletic Club, and we're also going to have today a full coaching update with so many of the potential candidates discussed after big reports that have emerged today. It's all coming up for you, so come on and let's do this. Because I do want to kick off today's video, guys, with the super thanks coming in here, and we do have two very different ones today. One is coming in from Austin, Texas, and the other there from Cork in Ireland. Absolutely fantastic support there. Really appreciate those super thanks, and that's what the channel is all about. From different sides of the world, wherever you're from, wherever you're watching today, I really appreciate you tuning in. And I want to kick off here with some really good news in today's video, because this right here is Pedri back out on the field today. He is training once again on the pitch after the injury that he suffered at the start of the month, don't forget, and these are very good signs indeed. We know that he's been recovering well. We know the injury didn't turn out to be as serious as we feared, and he's got his eye right now on the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final there against PSG, the all-important home leg, and he's also looking at El Clasico as well. And of course, you don't want to rush anything when it comes to Pedri, especially. No cutting corners, no rushing him back, but he is looking good, and that is positive news here for him and of course for Barca. But we do then move on to another very special talent indeed. We have to set aside some time here to talk about Lamine Yamal, because let's start with his absolutely wonderful display for Spain against Brazil there on Tuesday. It was absolutely dazzling he was in that game. It was a really good game as well though, wasn't it? 3-3 on the night. It was a proper international there, two attacking teams, lots of quality on show, lots of exciting football, and the biggest compliment I can actually pay to Lamine Yamal right now, at 16 years old, in this kind of international game, coming up against Brazil, him being incredible doesn't even surprise me. At this point, the things that he's doing and the consistency in which he's doing it, it's not surprising us anymore. He is consistently providing quality, he is showing his talent on a regular basis, and this was absolutely incredible. The dribbling on the night was off the scale. I mean, Vinicius Jr., by the way, he got so dizzy from watching Yamal dribble round his whole team that he had to resort to straight up pushing him over just to stop Yamal. And what was incredible for me was the standing ovation that he received there from the Santiago Bernabeu. Now that is special. That is something there that shows you how good this performance was, how good this young man is. To see the Bernabeu rise and clap a Barcelona player. Now I know that he was in a Spain shirt, but it's still really significant there. When you think about how other Barcelona players have been treated whilst playing for Spain, you also look in that game even at Morata, the Spain captain, he was whistled by the Bernabeu. So it was a huge compliment to him that they applauded and appreciated what they were seeing from Lamine Yamal, and it was a good look into the future, wasn't it? With Yamal being incredible at 16, you've got Endrick, he scored yet again for Brazil, goals in back-to-back games for him there, the young Brazilian who is soon going to be joining up with Real Madrid, and it's going to be some exciting battles to come. You know, there might be some really good moments on the horizon here. Barca Madrid going head-to-head, young talents arriving on the scene, should be some really big occasions coming. But I also thought it was important to hear as well, guys, aside from the football, away from the field right now when it comes to Lamine Yamal, apparently in the media right now it's being said that he is actually following a personalised training program in order there to increase his muscle mass, which he's doing. He's of course still growing, he's still developing physically at 16, and it's also there a program that's designed to prevent injury problems, because we cannot forget here that he is still at that young age. We cannot be putting too much of a burden on him. We can't be expecting him to do all the same things as those around him are doing physically. He's got to be on a special routine there. We've got to look after him, and we also have to make sure that we're giving him enough rest. We cannot overplay him now, even despite how incredible he is when he's out there. And on that topic, guys, what I would like to ask you here, ahead of the game on Saturday, what are you thinking right now in terms of rotation? Of course, we're all thinking as well about the PSG game. That's going to come in midweek, of course, a few days after the weekend, and you've got to get the balance right in this weekend game here, returning to action after the international break. And let me know in the comments down below, how much rotation would you like to see? And that's something we're going to be discussing lots more in tomorrow's video. But I would also like to discuss right here today another standout performer from that Spanish team, and I want to talk here about Nico Williams, because he's he's a really exciting player as well on the wing, isn't he, guys? And you could see it right here. Yamal, 16 on the right, Nico on the left, bit older, but still only 21 years old, and they would be an incredibly exciting duo. They are going to be for Spain. They're out-and-out wingers. They're players there that are going to hurt defences. They are going to run at fullbacks and cause all manner of problems. And it's interesting, of course, that Nico is still getting links to Barça. We know that Barça have been following him really closely for quite some time. He only recently renewed his contract with Athletic Club because we were thinking about Nico maybe on a free transfer. That would have been absolutely world class, but he has signed that renewal. But even so, Barça are still looking at him. Barça are still tracking his performances there, thinking further down the line what could indeed happen, because Nico does have a really good relationship with so many of Barcelona's players. He does get on really well. I think he would fit in very, very nicely into this group. But one thing that is being said right now, he would never ever force a move from Athletic Club. He would not put them in an awkward position there. He signed that renewal. He's got a release clause in there, but he would never force his exit. So right now what you're saying is it will be 50 million euros to sign Nico Williams for any club that would be interested in him. And I'm just wondering, guys, how highly do you rate this young man? He really was impressive for Spain. I've seen him put in many top-class performances there in La Liga, and he is a real threat, and he can play on both sides of the wing as well. But is he a player that you like? And is he a player that you will go as far to spend 50 million euros in order to get him? However, though, guys, there have been plenty of big reports coming out over the past 24 hours when it comes here to the Barça coaching position. There was a really big one that's come out here from Fernando Polo, reliable journalist in Barcelona, and he says that Barça have now conclusively ruled out 4 different coaches as Xavi's potential replacement this summer. And let's go through first of all who these are and why, because first up, Roberto De Zerbi. He apparently is now well and truly out of the running to be the new Barcelona coach for 2 reasons. Number one, Barca feel as though he is too inexperienced at the top level, and the most important one, he has a 15 million euro release clause which he can't get out of, and Barca have no intention of paying. And the rumours right now are that De Zerbi is actually talking to Bayern Munich. They are looking at De Zerbi, they are thinking about him, but only if they are unable to get Xabi Alonso this summer. Another man ruled out apparently is Thomas Tuchel. Barca are unconvinced right now with what he's done in recent times there. I think certainly his stint at Bayern did not help, and there have been a few problems there with his temperament as well. And I'm pretty glad, to be honest, that Tuchel is not being considered at this stage. I don't really think that would have been a good road for Barca to go down. Also, no Mikel Arteta. Now, I think there's a number of reasons for this one, but I think the main one would be he's not really interested in leaving Arsenal at this point. And I don't think Barca really felt as though he was the man to take over and start something new at the club either. And the fourth man apparently right now would be Julain Nagelsmann. Apparently he is also being ruled out at this stage because Barca also feel that he is too inexperienced at the very top level and at very big clubs as well. So they feel as though Nagelsmann has more work to do there at this stage of his coaching career. So those are the 4 there that have been ruled out. Nagelsmann, De Zerbi, Thomas Tuchel and Mikel Arteta, which is when we're left with the current situation as it stands right now. With all of those ruled out apparently of the Barcelona job, what do we have left? Well, you have Luis Enrique, who is a name that is still out there, who is still very, very strong within the club. But as we know, he doesn't want to break his PSG contract. He's made that so clear. He would return to Barca. He openly admitted that, but it is not in his nature there to walk away from a job early, to break the trust of those around him. But of course, all of that doesn't apply if PSG were to sack him. If they decided to actually sack Luis Enrique, say we knocked them out of the Champions League, and they were very, very unhappy with Lucho, well, that contract could be broken, and it may not be him that decides upon that. So that's something there maybe to bear in mind. Of course, the favourite still remains Hansi Flick. We spoke about him recently on the channel there. He's still waiting. He's still preparing. Barca have not made a concrete offer to him as of yet, but he's not a name that has been ruled out, so he's still very much in the running. But what we have to say at this point, guys, is all of those names that are being ruled out, the other names as well that are left, one of those that is probably one of the strongest right now still is Xavi. We are still talking here about the potential of Xavi staying at the club. We know that's the will of Joan Laporta. We know several people inside of the club would like Xavi to change his mind. But as of yet, guys, we have still seen absolutely no indication that he will. Xavi, whenever he is asked, he is asked about his future, he always will say, I've made my decision, and I won't change it no matter what happens in La Liga, no matter what happens in the Champions League. I am leaving, it's time for change, I want to rest. So there's still no indication that Xavi will change his mind, but he still remains an option at the club, of course. But it's at this point, guys, that I'm really curious, really intrigued, really, as to how you are feeling at this point in time when you're thinking about next season. Who do you actually see in charge right now? And does that change depending on the day, depending on the week there? Can one minute you see Xavi leaving? Can one minute you see Xavi staying? Do you still see Hansi Flick there as the new Barcelona coach? Let me know exactly what you are feeling in this moment right here. And of course, coming up on the channel, we're going to have lots more now happening. Now the players are getting back. Now the games are nearly upon us. These are big times for Barca and massive days heading in to these crucial matches to come. I will see you all so soon with all of that and more coming up. Thank you indeed for your great support and for always tuning in. But until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.